Good day and welcome. I'm Mr. Simons. This lesson we're looking at the very common exam question determining the value of k, for which equation will have 1, 2 or 3 real roots, right? So without further ado, let's look at the first. Use the graph to determine the values of k, for which the equation minus x cubed plus 3 over 2x squared plus 6 equal k will have first 1 real root, second 2 real roots, right? So before you can answer this, we assume that you got the two stationary points. Graph in blue there is the original graph. There's a stationary point at minus 1 and minus 3,5 and 2 and 10. Right? So when we say 1 real root, we have to draw the graph in such a way, you see here the one in pink, that they only make contact to the x-axis once. If we say 2 real roots, if you look there in green, it turns on the x-axis and only makes contact there. Initially it had 1, 2, 3 real roots. Right? So it's how we manipulate the y values by the turning point. Right? So there we were going to work, our answers are going to be based on the two y values, 10 and negative 3,5. So let's look at how to answer it. So blue graph, as I said to you, has 3 real roots, 1, 2, 3. Right, if we move the graph 3,5 units up, you see the one in green plus 3,5. So if I plus 3,5, y becomes 0. Right? And when y becomes 0, the green graph makes contact once, twice only. Right? So if we plus 3,5, we have 2 roots. And we go bigger than 3,5, say 6, the graph goes above the x-axis, so there it doesn't make contact to the x-axis and only make contact in one place. So that's the concept, this y-intercept. If I move it plus 3,5, I'm going up, so it's greater than. So if I move plus 3,5, 2 roots. If I move greater than 3,5, 1 root. Right, so how do we write this? Alright, we look before we write. Let me look. I didn't realize I put both in first. So look at the second turning point. Initially there in blue we have the turning point 2 and 10. Right? If we move the graph down 10 units, meaning minus 10, I get 0, and when I get 0, you see there the green graph makes contact only twice. Once there and once there, so therefore it has 2 roots. Move the graph more than 10 units, so we move more than 10 past this point. Graph only makes contact once and not a second time, therefore it only has 1 root. Right? So this is given, very important from equation. I must make the equation equal to 0. So if I take k over, I'm dealing with negative k equal 0. So here, for 1 real root, I have to move more than 3,5 up. No? So I have to think. So therefore, I write negative k greater than 3,5 or negative k less than negative 10. So when I say greater than 3,5, point is plus 3,5 gives me 0. Greater than 3,5 takes it above the x-axis. No? So negative k greater than 3,5. Yeah, the reason why I'm using less than, I'm going down. So if I'm going down less than, but to get 10 to become 0, I have to use negative 10. So I go less than negative 10, meaning I use negative 11, negative 12, etc. So negative k less than negative 10. If I multiply by the negative, the inequality sign changes. So k there then less than negative 3,5, or k greater than 10. That's my answer for that question. Alright, the previous parts were just explanations. So that's my answer for 1 real root. Look at 2. Alright, so yeah, for 2 real roots, we have negative k. So to get it to touch 2 places there in the green graph, I have to move 3,5 up, so plus 3,5 to get 0, and there minus 10 to get to 0. So for it to make contact at two places, minus 10. So you can see there 2 roots, or the one in pink, 2 roots. Alright, so negative k from there in the top equal 3,5, or negative k equal negative 10. Multiply the negative away or divide the negative away, k equal negative 3,5, or k equal 10. Right, now I'm going to look at example. Right, so in the next problem here, use the graph to determine the value of k. The equation is the same, but now I've made k positive and not negative k. For 1 and 2 real roots, so for 1 real root, I have to move more than 3,5 up, so k greater than 3,5, right? And you have to move more than 10 down, so k less than negative 10. Right, for 2 real roots, k equal 3,5, so plus 3,5 gives me 0. And there k equal to minus 10 to get to 0. So hope you follow and understand. It's a very common exam question, but yeah, it's just the concept of moving my y values up and down. I hope it's clear enough for you to understand. It will be tested, right? Continue staying disciplined. Consistency and discipline together will lead to extremely great success, right? So I hope you stay disciplined enough, and I hope you love the maths and you continue being the great person you are. God bless. Bye.